Hello, my name is Wes Urbaniak, and I'm a luthier and an author and an experimenter and a musician. I love songwriting so much. I love how personal it is. Kind of next level personal. And I'm huge into metaphors and abstractions. And the information that we can bury inside of a song is just like super profound. I want to do this. A long time ago, I realized that there was a lot that I could tell a person about a guitar, but there wasn't actually that much that I knew as a consequence of having experimented on braces, on wood materials, on tops. And when I first started building, I'm the kind of person that I just don't know things. I don't think about simple solutions like I think is more common. I don't think like, man, somebody else must have already built this. And I think that way now from lots of practice, but I didn't think that way at first. And so I would build things that I needed, not realizing I'd probably just go buy them. Yeah. Well, so what we are working on in the shop today, and what we've been working on 2 days prior, is I knew that I wanted to. I've been working on trying to figure out like how to get the story out and how to present the work I'm doing in a really good way. And the opportunity came up to build this guitar and to build it in 3 days. And I said, yeah, let's give it hell. Let's go for it. And I build guitars still out of a lot of like sometimes wild materials, crazy knots. Like I see it everywhere. All you have to be able to do is begin practicing your imagination and using it. And like I look at wood all the time and I unfold it constantly. I'm constantly unfolding wood. I'm constantly, like with my imagination, projecting outcomes with it. Now I'm using pianos. And when we started this on Wednesday morning, there was no idea about what wood we were going to use or how that whole process would completely unfold, or even if it was possible, again, to build a guitar in such a short amount of time. And So we did it early in the morning, walked into the garage where I've been collecting old pianos because that's what I'm using now as my source of material. It's what I prefer, and it's I can recycle almost the entire piano, and it saves it from going to the landfill. And to think about how many people have used those pianos to learn music and how much music has been played on them and how many houses they've been in already, it's like the perfect transmutation. So when we started that morning, we walked out into the other shop, and the piece I chose was from a 1920 Jacobson piano, and it was the lower lid portion on the front of the piano. And it was a little warped, and most of the veneer was gone, chunks were gone, but there was enough material there that I was like, yo, we can build the whole guitar from this. And picked it up, ripped it all down, milled those boards out. And then I had a little bit of that Jacobson soundboard, which was their spruce soundboards. And I had a little bit left from a McPhail piano. And so I cut the McPhail and the Jacobson soundboards up for all the bracing inside. And then the neck as well was able to come out of that faceplate. The entire guitar was built out of ash, and it's super old stuff, and it's really crazy next level gorgeous. And so we worked through the process. I cut those boards apart and milled them down. We glued the top and the back together, and got the rest of the pieces milled. We were able to get the neck glued together, and the first day the neck was mostly assembled and the back was grafted. And this is all being grafted with redwood, and it's redwood that was from the Red Rocks Amphitheater. And it was seats number 63, 64, and 65. And it's really sweet to have those pieces in there. And so that'll be the redwood that you see around the edge. And day 2 yesterday, early in the morning, the sides went on, and then late last night, the back went on, and the body was put together. And then this morning has been all the fine detail work. We've been, the neck needed adjusting, got adjusted, all the final sanding happened, the bridge went on and is glued. And man, it's looking crazy beautiful. When we put our tongue oil finish on, it's gonna blow up and just, man, be so beautiful. So when I first started building, I really, really wanted to build. I have these things called little soul birds, and that's a relatively new term. But inside me, like, I call them like the little soul birds, or these little things that like chirp and nudge and budge us, and they hold our attention for a while. And the same way with music, I was consumed with songwriting and wanting to play and the ability to use words that way. And I was similar in instrument making, where I wanted to build so bad that it didn't matter if I had the right tools. It didn't matter if I had the right wood. It didn't matter if I had the right knowledge. I just wanted to build. It took me 3 days to build this, and I also recognized that 3 days is backed by 20 years. 20 years of tinkering, 20 years of experimenting, 20 years of doing this stuff. And most of the measurements I don't even think about. And I'm not even sure there's so much autonomy in what I'm building here that I'm surprised when I try to think about it. It's like when I'm playing a song on stage and I start thinking about the lyrics and what lyrics come next, that's when I usually forget what lyrics come next. When I don't think about it and we're just there playing the song and I'm looking over at my friend Matt playing bass or AJ or Jess singing, that's the best part. Like being able to enjoy the company of others and not being stuck on the proportions of whether I know a song or whether I'm gonna remember a part or not. Like when I lose all that stuff and we're just playing in the company of others is just mad beautiful. There's a lot of cool stuff going on inside of instruments. There's tons of tensions, lots of forces. They're just, an acoustic instrument is just a really, really, really beautiful piece of structural art. And the pressures inside are phenomenal and they withstand it. And it's like one of the best uses of wood there is because it presents us with sound that we can choose to shape, and then we can use that to write songs and play music, and that's mad awesome. So I work on other things. We're opening basically a brand called BGT, or Best Good Thoughts. And Best Good Thoughts isn't about positivity or negativity. It's about the unity of those both. The best good thoughts are like, what direction do you want to go in and what thoughts do you need to have to support that? And that's mad huge because it excludes so many of these other features, but it includes the self and the self's requirement to have responsibility for where we want to go. And we need our best good thoughts to get there. And if we're using our thoughts for other things, for judgment, for anything, then we're not super aligning ourselves with outcomes that we want to see and things that we want to do. Cool. Cool.